Okay, well, it's Thursday, the 1st of December today, and it's a big day for me because I was told that by the end of November, which is last month now, which would have been yesterday, Wednesday, this dish, which you can probably just see here, would be gone. Now, I contacted Lincoln City Council probably back in May, certainly no later than early June, but I'm pretty sure it was May because I put in my application for right to buy in April, on April the 8th actually, my birthday. You'd be pleased to hear I bought the place now, but I raised the issue of this sky dish because you might suppose that with it being screwed to my kitchen wall that it was mine, but it isn't. It belongs to a tenant down below, and I raised this issue. It took a couple of months almost for the city council to come back to me and said, well look, what's the score here, because this is attached to my kitchen wall, it's affecting obviously my property, shouldn't it be moved? Anyway, eventually I think it was probably August time that I heard from them saying, oh yeah, it should be moved, and the officer for the estate has spoken to the tenant and he's going to get it moved. Well, nothing had happened by September, so I posted something, I think it was on the 27th of October, I posted something, having been in touch with the council again, and it's the 1st of December 2016. I was told it was going to be moved by the end of November, and it's not gone. It's still there. Now, this if this was the only thing, it wouldn't be so bad. But recently, I put in an application to actually be on the Lincoln Tenants panel. All right, and we get these shiny home magazines from City Council every month or so. I think it's every 3 months actually. This is the summer edition, and as you can see, it says here, City of Lincoln Council for tenants and leaseholders. So I was actually pursued, attended one of their coffee mornings down at the Bracebridge Community Centre on York Road, and encouraged to apply for a vacant seat on the Lincoln Tenants panel. So I put my application form in, which you can see here, and that must have gone in. Let's see, when did I sign that? And I actually handed it to Chris Morton, who's the officer who kind of coordinates the activities of the Lincoln Tenants panel. And he said, oh yeah, it's fine, it's great, wonderful. That'll go through. And there were one or two other candidates, and that I would go in the mix for the election. Anyway, as a result of my right to buy application and some complaints that I've made, including, of course, this, I wrote to the chief executive of Lincoln City Council. Let's see if her name's on here. No, it isn't. Angela Andrews, I think her name is. But anyway, long story short, I was complaining about the fact that the process took longer than I anticipated, and consequently I paid over £400 more rent because the council hadn't expedited my application. Anyway, so I'm still in dispute about that. So I've put in this application to be on the tenants panel, yeah, having been encouraged, because there's a vacant seat in the Bracebridge Manse area, and handed it to Chris Morton, all hunky-dory. But a week later, or a couple of weeks later, I get a phone call. It's about 5 o'clock. Oh, Mr. Gray, we seem to have made a mistake, because the Lincoln Tenants panel you have to be a tenant. We only have one place for a leaseholder, and so you being a leaseholder, you're not eligible. Or at least he said it's possible that you could have more than one leaseholder, but that wasn't the case at this point in time. Well, my argument about that is, apart from the fact that everybody else on the Lincoln Tenants panel is decidedly white, there's no minority representative on there. And the other issue is, okay, so I'm a leaseholder, but I'm still a tenant of the council because I depend on them to maintain my building and to take care of service requirements to the building. I can't do certain things myself because it's the responsibility of the landholder. So it's important for me to have representation on the Lincoln Tenants panel. And okay, there's some sort of leaseholders group, but why shouldn't leaseholders who have just as much stake in what's going on within the community and certainly within the physical environment in which they're living be represented directly on the panel? Well, that's a question that I'll certainly put to the Chief Executive if I ever get a chance to see her. She's not responded to any of my letters. I just got letters back from the legal department defending themselves, as you would expect, to which they'll get my responses at some time in the immediate future. But my big beef is, why should a leaseholder who's dependent upon the council for services for which he or she is paying not be able to be represented directly on the Lincoln Tenants panel? So I got the letter because I didn't even receive a letter, but a neighbour of mine who knew I was applying for the position, or put my name forward as it were, to represent the area, said, "Oh, I got this letter, I think this is the one here, and I'm surprised because your name's not on it." And I said, "Oh yeah, well, there's a long story about that. I didn't receive one of these because I'm a leaseholder, I'm not a tenant. So I don't have the right to vote for either of these representatives, both of whom I'm sure will do a great job. They both seem committed. I've had a look at their supporting information, their nominations information, and there's no reason to expect that they wouldn't do a good job representing the area. But what my contention is, why couldn't I have the opportunity to represent the area? Particularly as I have, I think, quite a bit of experience, which I showed in my nomination information, on previous tenants panels within Lincoln City, and have actually done quite a bit to raise money for the Moorland area when I was down there. We had a multi-thousand-pound development. It was £250,000 or more. So, without going on, because I've gone on long enough, I think Lincoln City Council appear to be frightened of having any kind of representation on the panel that is going to challenge their conduct, challenge their performance, not just challenge but inspire and encourage them to be actually more efficient and more effective. So as far as I'm concerned, the tenants panel may actually not be as effective as it could be because of the obvious gerrymandering in not allowing candidates who might well have something to contribute to stand. Bye for now.
Say